Oh, you wouldn't have to concentrate on mine because I just want you to talk about your idea once people start clocking in. So I'm just now letting people know. Um, I'm just now letting the brothers know that I'm live. And so I got one that just popped in. I believe that other woman was an agent.
Huh? What?
I believe the other woman was an agent, meaning she asked you about your finances, but
No,
didn't
no,
want to ask.
I know her.
Oh, okay.
I know her.
Okay. I was like, okay,
No, I
that's
know her.
peculiar.
I talked to her on the phone.
Okay.
No, she asks questions like that all the time. Just random stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so hey, what's up, y'all? This is Nabi here with Tone 202. Okay. So I see two of y'all already here. I know y'all like to come in late, but I didn't give y'all any warning. And the reason why I didn't give any warning about this live right here is that the idea that I put up is not mine. It's not mine, but it's something I noticed that needed to be said and done. All right. So the idea that's here is coming from Tone 202 because, well, y'all know I fixed up, but he fixed up and he parlayed it into if all hell break loose, he's going to be making some grip. All right. And we're looking at a society right now, and I'm just going to just do this interruption. And he makes beats. I let him do what he do. But we're in a society right now where a lot of dudes don't want to build anything, don't want to work with their hands. They want to be content creators. All right. Now, what we know, for those of you who listen to me, for those of you who follow my channel, what we know, especially with when we talk about brothers like Rasan, and tells me about this all the time, that a lot of dudes, a lot of people, content creators, they watch my videos, but not to support what I do, not to help the children, right? They watch it for ideas so that they could then go and make videos to try to make money. And so everybody is chasing clout and people. But what happens when the dollar goes to hell in the handbasket? What happens when they drop that bricks? What happens if it is as good as their advertising or close to as good as their advertising? What's going to happen if something gets serious enough that they rein in YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok because they are going to start following the laws, right? I was looking at a senator, and what happened is with all these things going on and people going after Trump, right? With the political nature of it during this thing and the things that people were alleging, the senators start to break it down that they're trying to curtail his free speech. And one of the senators said something, and she said, free speech is free speech. And you can't have somebody say you can't say something that the government believes is wrong because that's not free speech. Even if somebody's wrong, that's free. Free speech. They get to say what you believe is wrong, and it is your job with your speech to challenge them to prove that what they're saying is wrong. And so all these fact checkers that's taking people's stuff down, if the right people get in office, it's over for them. It's over for them. Um, it's over for them in a way that is going to hurt a lot of people's channels if they curtail YouTube, curtail all these people that think that that's a job to get on YouTube and they shout out, I am a content creator, like we're supposed to make something of that, right? I'm like, what do you build? What do you make? What do you use your hands for? And so what happened was I was listening to the brother's speech right here, my brother's speech, and I was like, man, we need to start talking to everybody about this, about men getting back to using their hands and building stuff and making stuff. You know, we have no one that's invented anything, and we've had people that invented stuff that got disappeared. What if everybody start inventing again? And we come together as a community. Uh-oh. And we come together as a community to protect the inventors, the people that could use their hands and make stuff. So now I'm gonna do this. Put the chef shift in. Hold it. How do I do this? No, that's me. You would think I know how I would learn how to do this. Okay. How do I do this? I want to bring you to the front. That's me. That's both of us. That's me only. Okay, I'll just leave it like that for now. Or no, not. What if I do this? There we go. Let's see what this does. All right. There is. All right. So go ahead. Say what you were saying. And my piece, they're going to be coming on late as usual.
Well, I use my hands. Well, basically, all right. So I'm one of those people who still, dumpster dives every now and then, pulls things out of dumpsters and see what I can do with it, especially if it's metal. But basically, I started fixing appliances because I was broke as hell, and my apartment complex was throwing away good appliances because they were remodeling. So I saw that they would throw away, all the kitchen, the kitchen appliances, the refrigerator, the stove, and the dishwashers, and the cabinets. So I said, "Hey, could I have that?" And it was like, "Yeah." So I just start selling it on Facebook. And then I slowly got into learning how to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, I started buying refrigerators that didn't work, or I would buy refrigerators that didn't work and didn't know it. People would sell them to me and they'd be like, yeah, it works, and it didn't work. So instead of taking it to the junkyard all the time and just losing money, I started to fix it. And I was just saying, we need to be respected. Even in the Bible it talks about that. Find something that everybody respects that you do, and everybody who is around here, they respect the fact that I deal with appliances, and I can pretty much fix them. It all depends on what's wrong with it, if it's worth fixing. Like I don't put in compressors, but I know how to do it. You know what I mean? And that's valuable, because people have come to me and say, "Hey, you got a refrigerator?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I've sold refrigerators to my neighbors. You know what I mean? Because they see what I do and they're like, "I need a refrigerator." I've sold washers and dryers to people that live right around here. You know, and some people even ask me to, "Hey, can you come and see what's wrong with my washer or my dryer?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll come and check it out." And I charge them whatever I'm going to charge them. It's usually not a whole lot, but you want something for your time. And sometimes, if I don't think it's a big deal, I'll just say, "Hey, make me something to eat, a ham sandwich, or something. Just give me something, you know what I mean, for my time." And but yeah, so hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't know what that sound is.
No, that was my chair. I was scooting up.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have wheels.
Yeah,
I don't have them fancy, you know.
yeah.
I'm in the DR anyway, so.
But yeah, so that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I fix stuff. And the other day,
But
go ahead. But what?
go ahead. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. The other day,
No, I was gonna say, how
you were saying the other day.
yeah, the other day my car overheated, my truck, and I wanted to, know what was wrong with it. So, I saw what it was doing. I saw it was leaking fluid, and then it just got worse and worse and worse until it finally overheated. And I was like, "Well, is a hose broken?" So on and so forth. And then I got to listening to it, and it started making a noise that I've never heard before. And diagnosed it. Went on YouTube. Looked around there and find out what it was, and it turned out I had a water pump. That was loose. It was going bad, pretty much. So I had to, fork out, a couple hundred and get that done. But, I could have called a guy to come over and do it, but he would have charged me, a couple hundred to do it, you know, and then it would have still cost me whatever. But I said,
Right.
this looks like something I could probably do, even though I've never done one before. Uh, I mean, it doesn't look
And
like,
well, I was like that with cars, right?
yeah,
I was like that with cars. Hold on, let me do this like this. So I was like that with cars,
okay,
and when I was raising my nieces, I had a tan car, and back when I was in the army, and like I heard you mention this, but about the pulleys, right? And so I had bought tools because I had a problem with the pulley before, and the tensioner pulley was gone has have gone bad. So I stopped. Somebody drove us to AutoZone. Hey, what's up, Rasan? Somebody drove us to AutoZone, and I picked up the tensioner pulley, a new belt, and then when we got, I was going to a church to play in South Carolina, and so after the service, I just fixed the car right there on the road. I fixed it enough to get to where I was going, but after there, I was able to pick up everything that I knew that I needed, and I fixed it on the road. All right, and so um, and that was another thing, and so that's I started getting at brothers that we need to get up with our hands, right? Um, and we need to stop letting people talk us out of using our hands. And that's what I see the most. I don't know if you agree with me, but when you listen to So I have a TikTok channel, as you know. I do this thing on YouTube. I watch Facebook videos when I got downtime here. And one of the things that I keep seeing is a lot of these women on Facebook and all this stuff saying that a man needs to make six figures, no matter what he does, so long as it's six figures, they're okay with it. All right, they usually want a corporate man that don't know how to do anything, but another man pays him a check that's six figures. But he really don't know how to do anything, like they don't know how to do anything either, but work for the system that gives him a check to answer phones maybe, or do whatever they do. All right. But if that company goes under, they screwed. All right. It's like during the depression when people were jumping out of buildings when they lost all their money because they didn't know how to do anything else. Their thing was pushing around paper. And this is a society that they're trying to get us to create, is where Afro men, instead of working with our hands, we start pushing around paper. You was talking about plumbing and all the rest of that they don't want to get into.
Well, the plumbing world is uh, they're experiencing a deficit because there's two things happening. There's not enough plumbers, and there are buildings that are in dire need because the buildings are old, and now you have a bunch of new buildings that are going up, but they still have these old buildings, and all the pipes in them need to be redone. So you're having a
Mm.
lot of there's a lot of, especially if you live somewhere where it's cold, these people are having real problems, like you saw in Texas, where all that water came through, the apartments and stuff like that, because it froze all of a sudden. It's and those pipes are not used to it. So even out here in my apartment complex, we had the same thing happen, pipe bust, and the apartment was like, hey, that's the city's problem. The city was like, no, that's your problem. Finally, the city came out and fixed it. But
Mm.
yeah, so but plumbing is a real big deal because all these buildings are old. The buildings where I live at, my whole apartment complex, these are old buildings. So these pipes are starting to break. And plumbing is just a real big deal because the plumbers don't bend pipe anymore. They don't have to. There's other techniques that they're using. So you have all of these pipes that are just outdated, and they're breaking, and there's just not enough plumbers to fix them. So I was saying, you know, you guys, I don't know where you live, but eventually you might run into this problem because I mean, I already have. I've had a leak in one of my pipes, leaked from my bathroom, leaked right down into my kitchen. You know what I mean? And they had to come in and fix a crack pipe, big old crack in it. They had to fix that. And so you guys might start experiencing this. Some of your pipes are just gonna go because they're just too old, but there's just not a lot enough plumbers to fix all these problems that are just popping up everywhere all of a sudden. So basically, I was saying, you guys, there's nothing wrong with learning how to do some of this stuff. I ain't telling you to DIY your house, but I'm telling you, like, I watched videos on uh I watch videos on plumbing. I watch videos on just like almost any kind of mechanical thing, cars, trucks, what I'm saying, big diesel trucks. I don't own any big old diesel truck, but I like to, watch and see, what they're talking about. Um just because I do, plumbing, electric, is, what I'm saying, I was had a house. Somebody bought a refrigerator from me. A guy called me, said, "Hey, you still sell refrigerators?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I need one right away. I got an emergency. One of my tenants, boom, she needs a fridge." I go over there. He buys a fridge from me. He's like, "Yeah, I'll take this one." I go over there. Her fridge is bigger than the one I have by 5 inches. You know what I mean? So he's looking for something that's a 30. She has a 35 sitting in there, and she's like, "Hey, it's cool, but it's not cold enough." And I asked her a few questions, but I already figured out what it was. I didn't even have to look in it. I already knew exactly what was going on with it. Basically, her heating element blew out. I told her, I said, it would cost you $70 to fix this plus the labor. You know what I mean? But he bought a fridge from me for $170. You know what I mean? So we replaced it, but that fridge wasn't big enough to hold all our stuff. And he wanted me to look at his stove, but his electric in the whole house was just off. I started testing his wires. His electric's off. So he's calling me to come and do something that he could have probably done himself.
He can't.
Yeah, he could.
Or can he?
Well, no, listen, to fix a heating element in a refrigerator, it would take you in not even an hour, maybe an hour. We'll just give it an hour. The part itself cost about $70. I mean, once you pull the food out of the freezer, because that's where the heating element is. Once you pull the food out of the freezer side, it was a French door. Once you pull it out, the food out of the freezer side and get the parts out and expose where it's at. I mean, that's the long and the short of it there. You just a few clips, boom, 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 come right out, put the new one in, boom, boom. I'm telling you, it's an hour's time. Boom. It would have cost him $70. That's what I'm saying, guys. Just you're not running
Mhm.
around fixing refrigerators, but no stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just it's just the stuff that's in your house.
Right. And but this is the problem. This is the issue there. Nobody look at all right, let me say this. Remember the brakes that had the springs in it? The drum brakes,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah, yeah,
learned to change the brakes on a car when they were the drum brakes and you had to pop off the springs. Now, I was a little child at the time, but I was taught how to do that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And now I'm breaking down the whole wheel assembly, all the way down to the A-frame bushings and stuff like that. All
yeah.
right, I could do that. I could break it down all the way down to the Timecan bearings, right?
Mhm.
And then get somebody and and I could break the bearings out and go get somebody to press new bearings in, right? And so basically, I learned how. Okay.
Yeah, you're freezing up.
Um, and so um, basically, uh, um,
You're freezing up.
signal here. I got a full signal here. I just ran the schematics and absolutely nothing was wrong with my. So they like to mess with my channel like this when we're talking about some serious stuff. But anyway, and I was looking at brother Rasan, and he was like talking about that frostbite. This is up in Plano, Texas, and the pipes burst. And but basically, these were houses that were made based on Texas weather before a
Mhm.
couple of years ago,
Yeah, right.
right? And so this is why they've had a problem.
Hmm.
All right. What's up, young boy 24? What's up, David? Um, got Rasan and whoever the other brothers are that's in here. All right. And so, and here's the other thing. Um, uh, Tone 202 makes music. I play music. That's another thing, working with our hands, right? So fix stuff, work with our hands, and this is the thing that sons, son husbands are being robbed of.
Yeah, they are.
We we got son husbands now.
They
We
are.
got a lot of women raising son husbands,
Yeah, they're being robbed.
and they're being robbed of all the knowledge that um that brothers like us know, and the rest of y'all might know, right? Um, and it's a crying shame that the the children, especially the boys, are being trained to not work with their hands. Worse than that, is way worse than that. They are being trained that working with your hands is bad.
It's bad.
Remember, remember, they said they want a six-figure man. So when you say, well, he's an electrician and he's six-figure, or he's a plumber, he's six-figure. They said, but that isn't good. We don't want no plumber or electrician. But you said six figures, but they don't want that kind of six figure. They want the dude that is, I say, a political positioning. And what I mean by political positioning, they have a, what's up, Daniel? They have a position where the woman can be seen, because it's all about her. It ain't about money, really. See, she don't want to be seen out there digging under the house to give her husband a tool. She wants to be seen in Caucasian society. Let's just call it what it is, the corporate society. All right. And if the corporate society was Afro, she wouldn't want to be seen in that. She wants to be seen in that Caucasian side. You know, by the weave. I'm just saying. All right. It's that they want to be seen. They want to be the attention. They want the attention that a man with a suit can bring them versus the security that a man that know how to build something with his hand would bring them. So they teach their sons that go to school, spend a whole bunch of money on a degree that you're going to have to pay back almost over the rest of your life, right? And get that six-figure job. Because even with that six-figure job, it's going to be hard to pay back a degree, especially if you buy a house and don't know how to fix nothing in it, and have to call the plumber, the electrician, the carpenter.
Yeah, I've been to plenty of houses where there was a man, and I had to school him on what's going on with his refrigerator. I have to. I've had this one guy. Uh, they came and they were delivery guys, so they came to pick up my refrigerator and deliver it to a place. That guy ended up calling me about a month later and said, "Hey, we bought I delivered a refrigerator from you. Can you come and look at the refrigerator that's in my house?" So I went over there, and uh, you know, his woman was there. He was still at work. He's like, "I'll be over there after I get off work." And I went over there, pressed a few buttons, and I told her, I said, "Listen, for me to go ahead and fix your refrigerator, it's going to cost you about $270. I said, but it's not even going to be worth it because you're still going to have the same problem. And I said, because your sockets they're not putting out enough power for this refrigerator
Mm-hmm.
to run correctly. And I tested her sockets, and each one of them, was different. But the ones in the kitchen were not putting out enough power. If you don't have 120 coming out of your sockets, your refrigerator, if it's a newer refrigerator, it's not going to work right. And she had one that was, less than 10 years old. So I already knew. I said, I'm going to tell you right now. And then I pushed a few buttons. I said, this refrigerator is going to get cold. And I said, just give it a little while. Pushed a few buttons. The refrigerator got cold. She said, yeah, it got cold. I said, now that's going to go away. And sure enough, the temperature started to go right back up. I said, you're not getting enough power in this refrigerator, but I can go ahead and fix what might be the problem, but it'll cost you, a couple $100. I said, but it might not be worth it. What I would do is I would run an extension cord into your other room, which has 120, and plug your refrigerator into there and see if it fixes your problem. I haven't heard from them since. Just a simple, just like that, run an extension cord into the other room where there's 120.
Let me point out something about this story I just heard. I wonder if y'all heard it too. All right. What I heard was a dude give somebody an opinion on how to better fix something without taking the people to the cleaners, and he could have. That's what I heard. I don't know. What did y'all hear?
Yeah, yeah. I could have definitely got more money out of her, but instead it cost her $50 for me to show up and tell her. And plus, and the thing about it is, I mean, she only charged her $50, right? But what she got out of it was, for one, I tested all of her sockets in her living room, in her kitchen, and she had an extra room, like a patio. So I told her what socket to plug it into. Uh,
Okay.
I also told her that you could probably call the electric company and see if they can boost your power. That's one thing you can do. It costs you absolutely nothing but time. Another thing is, whoever the landlord is, if you don't own this house, you need to tell the landlord, listen, I'm not getting enough, power to run this refrigerator in the kitchen. So this means they have to get an electrician to come in and look at her fuse box and figure out why that fuse box is not getting enough power. And sometimes it's not the house. I had a lady who, her refrigerator, she bought one from me. It didn't work correctly. I tested her socket. She was getting 114. 114 is
Okay.
not going to help you with a double wide. Turns out that on most of the houses, she's like, listen, my neighbor's refrigerator, hers went out. My other neighbor's refrigerator, hers went out. Guess what? It's the electric company. Something's wrong with the power. So they're not getting enough power. And no matter what she did, she's not going to get enough power to run one of these refrigerators. She had to call the electric company and take it up with them. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
A lot of
And,
people don't
and
know this. They don't know it.
actually, I didn't know it.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
gonna be-
until you run into it. I actually had to bring my generator up there just to prove my point. I had to go get my whole generator and bring it to her, plug it in, and then plug her refrigerator into my generator, which is outside with an extension cord, and says, this is running off of 120. Now your refrigerator will run correctly. So,
wow.
yeah.
And so, but here's the other thing too. This is a hill that I am going to fight on, and repeatedly. Brothers, we got to learn. Hey, what's up, Roland? What's up, Mr. Pirate Brain? All right, we got to learn. We got to learn that once we become builders and once we work with our hands and stuff like that, we are irreplaceable. And hold it, more
That's
mothers put a stop to vocational training for their
Mm.
sons. They looked at working with. There it is. They look at working the mothers,
That's
the
crazy.
the black mothers.
That is that is just so crazy.
This is who's doing the community in. They're doing a community in to the point where you have no builders.
Yeah, there's no builders.
All right. And and this is why we don't have a community. You can't have a community if there's no builders in a community, right? What good is a community when you can't call your plumber, when you can't call your carpenter, when you can't call your electrician?
Yeah, see, now the guy who I just sold a refrigerator to, I don't even remember him, but he still had my number. He's a landlord I dealt with years ago, and he's got my number. You know what I mean? Because and he told, his tenant, that guy is the what? The refrigerator guy. You see what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? I'm the refrigerator guy. And I made a name for myself because I've been doing it for years, flipping refrigerators. But, I got off into fixing them because I kept getting bad refrigerators and I didn't just want to take them to the junkyard and, lose money because I paid for it. I found out that the average cost to fix a refrigerator, if I do it, the average cost is somewhere around $60 to $75. That's the average cost. So if I bought a refrigerator for $100 or $150, you know what I'm saying? I throw another $75 into it. What I usually do is try to sell it for 3 times as much as it cost me. And sometimes it works. Matter of fact, most of the time it works. So I'll sell it for $400 or $500. Boom.
All right. Now, let me point this out too. Okay. Just seeing how this stuff works. But let me point this out. All right. And hold on. And I'm gonna open up the invite too, because that's a very, very good point. All right. That's a very, very good point coming from Brother Roland. Um, and hold up. Young boy, he gave the hookup. Yeah, but here's the thing. This is the other thing when dealing with
Trying to tell you.
Afro people. Afro people, because they live in the community and around you, they are going to be honest, more honest, and they're going to look out for you. I want you to I want you to understand also. It seems like you're helping a lot of single women.
The average person that I help is a single woman. And not only that, a lot of these women have absolutely no man in sight to help them. None whatsoever. And some of them, especially the older women, um, they actually say it. They're like, look, my husband died, or there's nobody here but me, and there's some good looking women, some nice houses, but there's no man around whatsoever. I'm like, don't you have a man that, I helped the woman start her car, and she lives right around the corner from me, and I was like, you could just do this, that, and the third and get this car running. I said, you know absolutely nothing about cars. She says, I don't. I said, you need a man because you have no man around. She says, I don't. She said, I am single. And right down the street, in my same apartment complex, I see these women trying to, jump their car. I'm like, you ladies need some help. They're like, well, you could be a gentleman. There's no men around. You know what I mean? There's not one man around to help these women out.
And this is what I've been telling these women. Nobody, I said, people aren't going to help them because it's getting to the point. I'm sitting right now in the DR, right? And let me just say this real quick with my experience here. Now, I put up a couple of videos. One, um, about the racism that I dealt with. But when you're around the regular people, like I ride the bus almost every day to go where I need to go. And it's not a lot of money to ride the bus, right? It's not a lot of money to ride the bus. But when I do, um, when I first start riding the bus, I was taking the exact change, but they stopped using change and they have these bus cards or a credit card, right? And so the one of the youth that saw me help somebody else decided to pay the bus fare for me. So he put his card up against the thing and let me walk on. And I do it too, but I'm not the only person to do it. And this youth is not the only person that do it, right? The other, I watched a bunch of people help each other when you get down to the community. My issue with my passport, the people at Domex start helping me hand to hand. The lady wrote, I figured out I might get it on time because the one of the ladies got my WhatsApp, and so we contact each other, and she let me know what's going on, right? And then she wrote them, and when she wrote them, they start speaking, right? And so basically, when you get into it, right? Um, what's going on is that a lot of people, when you have a community around you, you should have all types of help for all kind of things that you need when you are community based. That's a community. A community is when you have the plumber, where you have the electrician, where you have this guy, that guy, and the corporate guy. They all live around about in the same area. You don't have that now, and you're not going to have anybody that know how to build anything because, like this comment here, a lot of women have discouraged their sons from using their hands and learning how to build stuff. And so these are the black people that won't know how to build a pyramid. You know, all that knowledge is going to be gone where they won't know how to build nothing. They will be more like their moms and sisters than they will be like more real men.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And that's what's happening now because they don't know how to do a damn thing. And they don't know how
You
to do a
know,
damn thing because that's what their mom wanted. Go ahead.
when I was a kid, so I'm 62. I'll be 62 this at the end of August. Okay. When I was a kid, my dad, I lived in Baltimore City. My dad used to take me to this guy that was on the corner by where my grandmother lived off of Elamont Street. He had a shop down in the basement of a house where you could access the basement through the side of the house. So whenever our television, take the television over to him, he would fix it. Back then, I don't know if you remember, television had tubes in it.
Yeah, it's tubes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So he would go in there, he would have his tube tester, and he would test them, and he would take out the bad tube and put it in the new tube, charge whatever he was going to charge. And our TV was fixed right there on the spot. It wasn't no leave it there all day and we'll come back next week. None of that. No, he fixed it right there on the spot.
And most of the time, it was a blown tube.
Right. Most of the time, it was a blown tube.
And he did it. Very common problem. Yeah. So
and because he was a black man, he gave us a reasonable price. We went to him, and he knew that every time we was going to have a television problem, he was the guy.
He was the guy. And that's what's important. Be the guy. Be the listen. I listen to,
hold on. Hey, if you're going to come on live, you have to show your face.
Yeah. So
kickstart. I'm gonna remove you, but fix your camera so that you can show your face and then come back on.
So, like some of the people I watch on YouTube, I love the fact that they are the woman, or they are the guy that people come to. I don't care if it's, you're selling insurance, or one guy, he's an attorney. Everybody comes to him for, because he's a divorce attorney. I don't care. Be that person. You know what I mean? That people come running to you to get that knowledge from. And a lot of times it just starts off with some very, very basic stuff. For me, it started off with trash. And I still, every day, I still walk around to that dumpster to see what's there, because sometimes somebody will dump a refrigerator over there. You know what I mean? And what do? I go pick that
Fix it.
joker up.
You
Yeah,
fix
that's what I
refrigerators.
do. Yep. If it's
I had a neighbor that did that with refrigerators. He passed away, unfortunately, but he fixed refrigerators, wash machines, and dryers.
that's me. Like, these people move in and out of this complex all the time. And every time I see a U-Haul truck, I'll walk on by there and I say, "You guys coming or going?" And if they're like, "We're leaving," I'm saying, "What are you doing with the washer and dryer?" And, sometimes they'll say, "Hey, we don't want it." And I'll be like, "Can I have it?" I'll go grab my dolly. I'll haul it right up on out of there. Boom, it's mine. Then I'll figure out what's wrong with it. The majority of the time, nothing's wrong with it. They just don't want it. I sell
Right.
the thing for $100.
Yeah.
Just like, and it'll sell all the time.
Yeah.
Right, because that's what people need.
That's what they need. And I deliver. So I'll charge them, another $40 to deliver it. And they pay for it. It is beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey, brother Roland, go ahead.
Hey, how
Hey,
are you?
speak. All right, hey, speak more to that, and tell your wife, bom dia. Ooh, boa tarde. No, boa noite. Boa noite.
Hey, Sarah.
Um,
Ah,
speak to that issue.
disse boa noite a você, ok? Tá bom? She said boa noite. She said, rapidinho off of this ao vivo. She
Ah,
dialed
sim.
for karma.
Ah, fala com ela. Me vai para o Brasil em setembro.
Ah, ele vai para o Brasil na setembro. Yes. She said
Eu,
the beginning of spring. That would be great.
sim, 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 sim. Eu ficando aí para setembro a novembro.
Oh wow, 2 months, Sarah.
Ah,
Yeah,
três.
doing
Yeah,
great.
there's a turned
Terminou.
around. Their seasons are turned around from ours.
Right.
Yeah, it's opposite. Yeah.
Opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me tell
It's
you this.
like Texas. It's like the winter is like Texas and the summer is like Texas, but flip it.
Right.
So
I used to live in Argentina, so we had that Christmas was in the summertime.
Yeah. Well, let me run this down to you all. I was a career counselor for 11 years, and we had the hardest time getting um, Afro boys in particular interested in these programs. I worked with all the vocational programs. I mean, we had all the programs you need to build a house. So that's in carpentry, you had carpenters, electrician, plumber, masonry, and there's a fifth one. I don't remember what it is right now. But we had all of that.
Auto mechanic, probably.
no plumber.
Plumber. Yeah, plumber.
HVAC,
Yeah.
heating and air conditioning.
HVAC.
Yes. So recruiting. That's all my job was, is basically recruiting these young students to get into these 3-year programs. While they were in high school, they could get certified, leave high school, pass the test already, eligible to make. We had welders coming out of there starting at $60,000 or $70,000 from high school. Did I get any of those black kids in there? No. I had white students lined up around the block with their parents' support. Couldn't get them black kids in there. Oh no, I'm going to college. I said, the way our system is set up, you can go to college as well as go into a trade. Have something to back up. Do you really have $40,000, $50,000 every year to pay for school? No. I said, so why don't you get the money up front, then pay for school? We had we had programs like the Electrical Brotherhood, the Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or something like that. They were willing to help pay for college after you were certified as a journeyman. I couldn't get no support. Very minimal, very little. Now, unless they had a dad or an uncle that was already in the trade, it was minimal.
They're not interested.
But moms, most of the time, were the ones that persuaded their sons not to get into programs because, oh, you can do better now. You're going to play football. You're going to do this, that, and the third. And they never succeeded. Half of them didn't go to college, and they didn't have anything to fall back. So we know where they are. Either
in the streets.
Dead or in jail. So,
And that's the sad part.
Most of the people that's building the houses in the States are the Latinos that come here.
Oh my goodness, don't get me started. Bro.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this. On the worst end of town in the city I live in, they got rid of all of the crackheads, all of the Oxycontin users. They got rid of all of the drug heads, and the Latinos come in. They're buying up all them rundown buildings, and they're fixing them up in little to no time. And I mean, a team of them will come in on a Saturday and will fix that house up by Sunday. It is amazing what they can do, bro. And they're doing it all together. I mean, it is a beautiful sight what they can do, man. I've sold plenty of refrigerators to Latinos. I'm telling you, they're like my number one customer, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here's the sad part. When I grew up, I learned how to braze, electric weld. I learned how to use a lathe, build chairs and stuff like that. And I learned this in the 8th grade. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I learned that in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I was in a
Yeah, we had
predominantly
woodworking in middle school too.
Work, yeah.
I was in a predominantly Caucasian part of town. Now, you know what else they had? They had home economics.
Home economics, loved it.
So you could take home ec if you wanted to. Now I took that because I like to eat. All right.
Oh, you
so
talking about you took? I missed what you said. You took home economics.
Yeah, home ec.
Oh
yeah, I did
took it
too.
all.
Yeah, I took it too.
Yes, Lord.
I
you
took
get in there, learn to
woodworking.
cook some cakes and stuff.
Yeah, and I took metalworking too.
And then, and while I was in high school, I also went to Votech school and took up bakery, worked in a bakery. So I learned how to make bread on a mass scale. I could bust down some donuts. I know how to make some donuts better than Krispy Kreme.
Were you at South Votech?
Huh?
I didn't hear you.
I took Votech when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I took bakery.
People had them bakery programs.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to decorate cakes, make the roses on the cake, eat the cake. And then I looked at our schools are pitiful. They don't teach They don't. And the thing that I learned, the thing that I walked away with, as I learned how to teach myself, because one of the things that they had was reading is fundamental. The little van that came around with all the books in it.
Yeah, the bookmobile.
And so I learned to become self-sufficient. I learned to read, to learn how to do stuff. Um, I learned to fix a car because I got the Haynes Auto book for my car. And so when I had problems with my van, when I had the van, um, we called it the hotel mobile. And I used to fix it. I used to fix the stuff with my vehicle. Hey, Roland, your audio, something's wrong. Audio is choppy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody was chewing on
it's stopped
something.
now.
He gone.
Yeah.
He'll probably come back. But anyway, and so when we take what Roland was saying and stuff like that, the biggest problem is the black mom is raising son husbands, and she is teaching the males to fear doing manual labor.
Mm.
And that's the biggest problem. But this, I said this way back in 2003. I said this was the problem. And I didn't get up off of it. I didn't get up off of it to make them feel good. They attacked my channels, but I didn't give a damn, because what we're seeing now, that brother Tone, again, that's his thing, Tone 202. Hey, is it TONE 202 or TON 202?
TONE 202.
Okay, and there it is. That's his channel. So go subscribe to there real quick. Anyway, and so basically, hey Roland, come on back too, so you could tell us more about this, right? And so basically, to Roland's point, it's something that I saw, but not. I mean, this is like the horse's mouth. When, as a counselor, I kept saying that the worst adversary that we have to a community is the single BW, with the feminist mindset, that I don't want my son to. This is why it's why the courts gave the children to the moms, because they wanted the sons destroyed. But the sons are destroyed because they gave the children to the moms. And now we're seeing the importance of fathers. But now the country is coming to terms with it, because they have no one to join the military. They have no men that can fix anything anymore. They have no one
Did you notice that in that Montgomery, Alabama brawl that happened a couple weeks ago, all of the people that was fighting was they, in fact, you had what's his name? Jason Black coming on talking about, yeah, them old niggas and this and that. And it's like, no, Jason, you're wrong. There's the old folks that was down there fighting. The young folks was up there on the pier talking about, oh, you're going to do this and you're going to go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you sitting up there saying that it's the old folks ain't fighting? It's the young kids, the youngsters ain't fighting. Only one fought, and that was the one that jumped off the boat and swam across.
Aquaman.
And look, how come no other youngster jumped off that boat to go over?
All right. There? 2 reasons.
Because they can't swim.
No, 2 reasons. Because they can swim better but 2 reasons. In this society, when you look at it, it was the old people, and it was the old people with jobs, but it was the old people that knew how to come together as a community to do stuff. Those old people do not exist in the presence of the single mom run homes anymore. Those old people that defended each other are not even allowed in the community. If you look at the old people that were there, the one was the co-captain of the boat. right?
Right.
The dude, Aquaman, he was an employee from the boat, and all the rest of them were working men that remember back in the day that we don't play that mess. But you know who the young people will do dirty on? They will fight each other. They will take the lives of each other. And when we talk about this so-called black on black crime, there's white on white crime too. Black on black crime is at 93%. White on white crime is at 87%. So they're really that close, right? But when we talk about it, it's the youth. The most violent right now statistically and the fastest growing prison population are black women. All right. And it just is what it is. And I'm not even going to pull up a video that I did today where I put it up there how everybody's talking negatively about the men who work with their hands, about how we're the ones doing. Actually, everybody to include the BWs that's accusing us, know that we're not the ones that's causing all this stuff. They know it, right? They know damn well it isn't us. But that isn't what matters to them. All right. What matters to them is the propaganda to get them to tell the lie so much that they can convince themselves that they are not the problem, that the source of the problem is not them. But when the video that I put up, okay, I put it up on what did I put it up on? Oh, I put it up on TikTok and I put it up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right? So the video that I put up, what I did was, hold on for a second. I'm gonna pull it up here. I'm not even gonna add it. I'm gonna pull it up. And what I did was people kept asking me for the stats for all the stuff that I talk about. And as y'all know, I put it in the videos, right? So what I do is I put it in the videos. And so I don't know how they're not seeing it, right? Now, to be fair, one was on Instagram, where I commented the 70% when we talk about the Harvard study, right? And so they actually didn't have it. So that's why I made this last video that I put up on Instagram and TikTok, because I wanted to put the study material in the video. And this is the problem that they've had with me is me doing this. I'm about to pull it up in a minute. Young boy 24. Hold on, wait. Hit the wrong thing. Okay. I'm about to pull it up. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up. And I'm gonna paste it in the thing, right?
If I cut my camera off every once in a while, it's because I got to run to the bathroom. So,
we didn't.
I'm just letting you know because I cam up.
Yeah. Oh no, you weren't the problem. Is these new? I didn't recognize the person, right? And it's a rule that I developed from being on TikTok, because a lot of people, what they do when they want to mess things up, and when they want to start mess where there isn't no mess, right? What they'll do is they will hold on for a second.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They will come in. They will come in. Yeah, to try to say something to get your channel banned.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how sick stuff has gotten.
Who's that down here? What's your name, man?
Which
me?
one?
Right there, the other guy here on there. Because
Me?
I can't see you too well.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Oh, that's Tone 202.
Oh, Tone 202.
Yes, sir.
Didn't you go by another name?
No, that's always been Tone 202.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
No, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was always Tone 202.
Good.
I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if that was David Bowman or something. Yeah.
No. David Bowman still. David Bowman only uses David Bowman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, David Bowman only uses David Bowman. But
You
yeah,
know,
Tone 202 has always been Tone 202.
Oh, okay.
I've been in a couple of mothers' houses, and they have sons.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a clue. I mean,
And that's sad.
I like you have the whole black woman thing covered, but to add on to some of the stuff you're saying, I see it when I walk in their house and sell them a stove or a refrigerator. They don't know. They don't know anything about anything mechanical, and they draw a complete blank when it comes to the basic things in their house.
You know what the irony of it is the oppressor went over there to Africa looking for the Hebrews because we were the builders, we were the creators, we did all of that. They went and got us so we could build this country, and then once we built it, they wanted to erase all of the knowledge from us.
Yeah.
Because whenever they let us on our own, we would build up a community better than what they had.
Yeah, Black Wall Street.
Yeah, all the way up to 1950. And I had there was and I have her. I'm gonna bring her up. Because it's relevant. I'm gonna let y'all hear her. But she was talking about it. She's a China. I can't. She might be. I think she's part Chinese and part Korean, right? And she was talking about that.
Even with Martin Luther King, I wondered. I didn't know at the time because I was young, but I wondered after years gone by studying it, why was he fighting so hard to sit at the table in these restaurants of these people so they could fix our food, and they don't eat. You never let people fix your food that don't like you.
I'm gonna bring up what Martin Luther King actually said about that too. So I'm gonna bring up 3 clips, right? So that y'all can understand that I'm gonna bring up the Oriental lady, right? So that she could talk about how good we were at building. And it's something that a lot of people don't know, all right, because this is part of the hidden history that they did not want us to know about. Okay. Let me see, where is she at? Where I got her at? Where you at, Chinese lady? Oriental lady. Okay, hold on. I think I got you on my Facebook. Yeah, I think I got her on Facebook. But in any case, I'm gonna bring her up, and if I can't get the video downloaded,
They got
okay,
their son husbands, and then I'm
right,
surprised they're
and
not
so
having sex with their son husbands.
Oh, they are.
they are.
Are they?
Yeah.
There are a lot of when we talk about in the Afro community, when we talk about SA of the children, it's primarily
Women.
women.
The school teachers are going crazy.
It's primarily the women. It's what everybody wants us to forget. They want us to forget that it's the women.
The news every day. There's a new school teacher in the news, and it's a white woman. Every day, there's a new school teacher in the news doing the same thing all the time. So you can't forget it because it's always there.
And here's the crazy part: if it's in the home, it's the ABW. When we're talking about the sons, what's been going on with the sons. When it's in the schools, it's been like maybe one or two BW, but primarily, hold it. Primarily, it's been the Caucasian persuasion, and it's so bad with the Caucasian persuasion that they made a whole Saturday Night Live skit out of it. Let that sink in.
They had a black lady that was just got fired from the school, and the only reason why she didn't go to jail is because the kid was 19. He was in high school, and he was I think he was a football player or something like that, and she was a substitute teacher, and she was sleeping with the kid.
Oh shoot!
And when they were talking about it, she did a news conference. She said, "Well, they knew that I was only 25, and they put me in the school with this young boy, and he's a ball player too, and blah blah." I'm like,
yeah,
why are they giving her
and
the
there it
microphone?
is.
Look up Stagler. Look up a school teacher named Stagler. Black woman. She was a school teacher, and she was also part of the. She did different programs in the school. She was not. This woman was caught on the side of the road with her pants down, with a 12-year-old boy's pants down. And the reason how she got caught is because the way she was parked. The police came over and like this you're not even parked on the side of the road. So she was parked all wrong and was sucking, and she was married and was in such a hurry to get into this 12-year-old boy's pants. She
didn't even care.
She didn't even care. She parked the car in the old kind of way and was like, get in the back. And they were both caught with their pants down. Literally. Black woman too. Married.
All right, hold on. So I'm gonna show. All right, let me get this.
Don't give these women consequences.
What you say?
Right. All right. Let me bring these things in. First of all, let me bring up. Let me see if I'm going. Who am I going to do first? Bring up Dr. King. What did I do with the Martin Luther King one?
Real good looking black woman. Just ruined her whole career.
There's an echo now.
Oh, hold on. There's an echo because I'm gonna play this with the I'm gonna play this thing real quick. I'm gonna play this thing real quick, and then oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay, I'm gonna play this real quick because I want y'all to see this. I'm gonna stop the screen, and then we're going to flip it over to what I got going on now. And for those of you that's there, I want y'all to listen to this. Facebook. There we go. All right, can y'all see her?
Afro Nabi, is that a new channel?
No, this is my Facebook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So y'all can see her. Y'all can see the picture?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, now listen to her. The question is, why don't you tell me where African people are, on average, more successful than Asians? Pick any country. There are plenty to choose from. Now, this is a Caucasian people trying to go in on Black people, and she's pretty much a historian on what was going on with Afro people before 1950, right? And she breaks stuff down like this, and Well, I'm gonna let her tell it. What's up with my sound? Oh, how come I can't hear it? Hold on for a second. Let's go here. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay, now let's see. Wow. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but I can't hear her. All right, let's see. Wow, that's amazing. See if I can hear her now. This is funny. I heard her all the way up until this time that I wanted y'all to hear her.
Well, just move on to something else. I mean,
Oh, okay. So all of a sudden my Facebook don't want to work.
yeah, just move on to something else. Do it in another live. You gotta set it up to
All
where-
right. I don't know what's up here.
Yeah, just do it in another live.
All right, so let me just bring this one up then.
There you go.
Let me just bring up the numbers. Because for some reason, it didn't do that. All right, so let me bring this up, the numbers, and now I know I got this. Videos, there we go. All right, here we go.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is basically going to be for data purposes. Basically, because of this. In the US, the Afro male is being blamed for everything by the American BW. All right. And the things that the American BW are lying on the Afro men about, the population of Afro men. And they're not talking about specific men, they're talking about the entire population. When they lie on them, we go do the research and, well, would you look at that? The research shows that it's not the men as a population. Just only a small minority of the group, basically 16%, that's causing the mayhem. And they're not even causing the mayhem. You can't blame them when they're being chosen by 80% of the American BW. So, when we put the data up, one of the things we wanted was an understanding. What I want you to do is look at the paragraph under the photograph, and you'll see congenital infections in newborns have risen 700% across the country over the past decade, according to the CDC. Again, this is not the men causing this. This is the women. Now, before we go into this Harvard study, which is some other information that people were looking for, that they tried to hide on Google, they tried to hide in other areas of social media, but it is a medical study, which means that it is peer reviewed, and peer reviewed stuff can be found. Even if you use Google, you can go to the exact site. So Google might not put it up where it's easily located, but if you know what you're looking for, you can find it easily because you're looking for a peer reviewed study. And this is that. Now concentrate on what's in yellow and then concentrate what's circled, right? And read the whole thing, just pause and read. But as you do that real quick, the reason why I'm not going to blame even the bad population of men that are chosen, because they are the ones chosen.
What's in yellow is that the women and the men agreed that intimate partner violence starts with the women mainly started, and what's circled is they started at 70%. So 70%, and this is according to the men and the women, that the vast majority of times when there is SV, it started by the women.
Now, when you look at the infectious diseases, the STDs and stuff like that, again, I pointed out that men usually sense things immediately, and because of the discomfort, they'll go see medical professionals right away. And when they see the medical professionals, understand this, when they see the medical professionals, they get treated right away. The females, according to CDC and other studies, they don't do that. In other words, they will lie about what's going on to save face. And this is a general finding. And this is just so you can get a closer look. Okay, so I wanted to put this up out of this paper. Half the women, and y'all can read it, 96% of women are liars honestly, right? And so this was some more research. But this is the thing I want you to pay attention to. Pay attention to the middle paragraph, and that will tell you what's going on with the outbreak of STDs amongst the Afro population.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right here. All right, I want y'all to grasp what they're saying. All right, and this is from the study that says 90% of women are liars, and these are the things they lie about, and then they give the percentage of the lies that they tell about these things. And this is most egregious, right? It goes to say 42% lie about contraception in order to get pregnant, no matter the wishes of their partner. An alarming 31% said they would not tell a partner if they had a SD. All right. It rises. Okay. It rises to 65%. Understand what I just said? It rises to 65% if the women are single. So 31% of women who are in relationships would not tell their partner if they went out and got ran through by someone else and they brought home a disease. 65% of the women infected would not, 65%, I want y'all to grasp this, would not tell anyone that they had something. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying, right? And so when you look at this, you see the problem.
31% said they would not tell their future partner if they had a sexual disease, and it rises to 65% amongst single women. And anything that's higher like that, you see is higher in a BC. So in every way that the Afro men have been lied on. Turns out it wasn't us. It wasn't us as a population. It was the minority that keep on being chosen, and the BWs have been secret.
All right, now, what I wanted to say about this, right? What I wanted to say about this is this, that when I talk about these things, a lot of people just thought I was crazy. Oh, you really angry at black women? And I was like, yeah, yes, I am. You really don't like them. All right. And here's the thing. If my heart is like the Most High's heart, if he don't like wickedness, then I shouldn't like it either. And my problem is I wasn't seeing mistakes. I was seeing wickedness. I was seeing people that actually chose the worst, the bottom 16%, that weren't the six feet, six pack men. They were the six pack, maybe 6 feet, maybe 5'3". But so long as they were slinging the product, they were okay with these women. That 16% that been knocking them up. Remember, there's a reason 70% of the children that are born to these single moms don't got nothing, because the dads didn't have anything for the women to get off their dad. We already know what happens when they get a dude that have a job. We go to child support court. But when you take a man that don't have a job to child support court, you only get $2 a month, like in the case in Tennessee. All right. So if they're choosing these men, and you got 16% of them that's running through these women, right? And so here's the issue here. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show this to you, that this is only affecting the women and not us brethren, right? The 16% know they got what they got, but they don't give a damn, right? And it's not their fault, because they're advertising who they are, and the BW keep picking them. Why do they keep picking them? They tell you on TikTok, they tell you on Facebook. They're more exciting, and they consider men that work, take care of home and stuff. Well, those are boring, and they're not worth anything, because they can't get no shine in the streets off of them, right? And the main women that talk women out of being with decent men are other women. And so now you see why they're raising their sons who's afraid to touch a tool, who don't know how to fix anything and stuff like this. And it's really worse than this. I hope y'all can see this, right? I hope y'all can see this. All right. The Houston Department reported this thing rose 128%. Right? New infections rose by 57% between 2019 2022. And it's only right, it's resin like this in these females. So if the females are the ones that's getting it, hold on, let me go look at something else. They got one. This is worldwide.
Is that worldwide? Or I thought it was just Houston.
No, this is Houston, but this is going on worldwide. All right, hold on. Let me do this. Forbes.
So in Africa,
that's for BBC. All right, BBC is rising around the world. Okay, so this is the BBC. All right, and so who's eating?
That's me. Can you hear me? I'll cut my mic off.
Yeah, okay. All right, so this is going on around the world according to BBC, and the reason why it's being reported on, because it's happening to the women. All right, these hot girl summers and these women that don't need no man, and once thought to be declining, it is now resurgent. All right. So, well, y'all got to see that before they. I hate when they do that. And so that's the BBC. All right. The reason why Houston is so bad because it's heavily BAW. And what was really the problem is, and this goes back to my point that I was making in the video. They're finding out there's a rise in this because these women that are getting knocked up by these thugs, well, when they go for prenatal care and stuff like that, that's when they're finding out that these women have this thing. All right. Now, one of the points that I made that the reason why you don't see the outbreak with brothers, with men, the reason why you don't see this outbreak with men is due to this reason right here. That with men, all right, with men, one of the things that men do is if we feel the least bit of something, something another, right? We going and take that sensation somewhere else. Okay, we're going to go to where are we going to go? We're going to go to the hospital. We're going to get treated, and we're going to get treated within a day or two of noticing. All right. With this is an indication of a decade ago, United States stood on the brink of eliminating the surge of babies with this thing, right? Now there's a surge in phenomena. The rate is 4 times higher for babies born. I want y'all to see this. Let me, just in case y'all can't, let me just put it in the box. And then we'll go back to the comments. Let me put this up here first. So as you see, according to them, hey, bro, we can hear you smacking.
With me?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I'm about to go anyway because I'm sleepy.
Okay.
My mic is cut off.
No. Oh,
No,
that's you eating, Tom?
It's probably me.
Okay,
Yeah.
just look at this real quick. So, all right, people 4 times more higher in black mothers than white mothers. All right, 4 times higher. 197 stillbirths and stuff like that. See, why do I know about this stuff? Remember, my motives is for this is I'm tired of how they treat children, right? So when I see evil done to children, I'm gonna speak to it and I'm gonna know what I'm talking about, right? And so basically, what's happening is that people are now starting to see that no, he wasn't crazy, y'all. He just don't just dislike him. This thing is destroying the sons because they don't want to fix or build nothing. They're afraid to do manual labor because that's how their moms programmed them. The babies, they're not given the chances because they're being born with all these diseases and stuff like that because the BW don't give a damn. right? And the reason why they don't give a damn is because when people like me speak of these things, they shut me down, they shut me out. And when I get honest about how I feel how I feel about this thing, because of the damage that is doing to the community and children, people just look at me upside the head. Well, you wrong for that. And I'm like, well, I would rather be close to how the Most High feel about it, which this despises him,
Hey, bro, I'm
according
gonna
to.
go ahead and go, man.
All right, thanks, Tone 202.
Yeah,
All
go ahead.
right, all right, y'all. That's Tone 202.
Take care,
All
Tom.
right. Okay, Tone 202, TONE 202. All right, and so when we look at all of this stuff, isn't it? It's being the community is being destroyed all the way around. All right, it's being destroyed all the way around, inside and out, spirit and soul. And the Caucasians could not do to us what the BW is doing to us on their behalf, because they would rather replace themselves with us. And if you look at Brother Tone 202, right? And he realized it. And what Dr. Martin Luther King said, I realized that my dream is a nightmare. I have that speech, right? So he said his dream was a nightmare because he realized that the government was who Malcolm said the government was. And we're talking about the FBI, the DOJ, and all the rest of the Democrats, of the same people that, and I want y'all to understand this. The way they're bending the laws to go after Trump is the same way they'll do it to go after any of us. And y'all are not, and y'all are not really understanding the implications of what they're doing. They're bending laws. We
And if you
know.
notice that all of the prosecutors going after Trump are black women.
And one black man. And
One black man.
Yes. And so I want y'all to and understand that these people don't represent us. You know why they're using them? Because not only do the sons not build anything, not only do they think that being a content creator is the end all and be all, it's a job. And it's not a job. It's not work. It's the easiest way for them to come up on some money by selling their souls out to get some change. And that's what most of them are doing. They're not really talking about anything. They're spreading mess, they're spreading lies, and they're spreading the propaganda of a political wing, whether it be the right or the left. Because I get into with both of them. And I'm going to say this, and this is what I find surprising. Caucasians on the right, I can argue with them and we could block each other, call it a day. The so-called BP, whether they're on the right or left, when they disagree with you, they try to shut you down. In other words, they don't say you have the right to speak and I have the right to disagree. I'm gonna just not speak to you anymore. They're like, you do not have the right to speak if you don't think exactly the same way I think.
Yep.
And that's the BP. All right, that's who's doing that. And so when you look at it, it shouldn't surprise you that the makeup of all the people that are attacking Trump unjustly. Now, y'all say, in full disclosure, y'all know I went after Trump over the Colin Kaepernick thing, right? And to me, I won't let that go because I watch Afro people. Colin Kaepernick actually believed that I will sacrifice my career to call attention to police brutality. Caucasian people who's never felt brutality, Trump being one, was against that because football was more important. They blackballed him from the NFL. But what was sad is you had a lot of football ignorant dudes, and this is why the Afro community, the black community, the Afro community will get somewhere as soon as a lot of Afro people learn to leave these people alone. All right. But the black community is not going to get anywhere is because they're easily distracted by football. And when somebody is standing up for them, they will still pick football over the sacrifice of the person. And the harshest critics of Kaepernick wasn't the Caucasian people. It was black people that was like, oh, I don't want to miss football.
Yeah.
All right. And so the thing is, and then I was one of the first ones that start posting up the third verse of the Star Spangled Banner. Now, the reason why I posted it up is I knew the senator that decided we should have a national anthem and that should be it. It was a racist Democrat. Why couldn't they pick America the Beautiful? That would have been a better song.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to think hindsight 2020, he knew the third verse and he felt like every time somebody sang it about what the country is represent, he knew in his heart that that song was racist given what the third verse is.
Mm.
Okay? But we will never he figured we would never know it because no one would ever sing the third verse. They would only sing the first verse.
Look,
And then in the song at the first
we didn't
verse.
really start knowing it until about 5 or 6 years ago.
Right, that's when I start posting it on my videos before my channel was taken down.
Mm.
All right, and so this is this is what's really going on. All right, somebody said, let me pull this lady up on my phone. And so and this is the craziness, y'all. This is the craziness. The craziness is we got people that will settle for anything. We got people that will settle for anything so long, and when they're being destroyed because they didn't wake up and move like the rest of us, when they're destroyed because instead of joining and helping a brother out, they decide, well, we're just going to steal the content. I mean, that's where we gone to.
You kind of lost me there. What are you talking about?
Okay, so y'all know the stuff. Some of y'all know this, especially brother Rashawn, and he's caught a couple of people, right? So there's a lot of content that I would put out, and people was like, "Hey, can you share this with me?" But what they were doing is they were taking my ideas and starting a channel themselves, right? And they didn't want to give people credit because they didn't want that traffic. They didn't want the traffic they were getting from me or other traffic. Well, they didn't want people to know I existed. They didn't want people to know that what they're saying came from me. Right? And so I was like, okay, that's cool. Right? It is what it is. But then with me, I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm not going to have a problem with it. Okay, let's see if we can. I know. I'm about to fix it. All right, I think I know what the issue is. I know what happened. I know why you couldn't hear it.
Hmm.
All right, so all right. Let's see what happens now. Hold on for a second, y'all. Hmm. Okay, there we go. This should be about do it. And it didn't. Hold on for a second. Why isn't it connecting? So hold on. Let me try this one more again. Hold on, wait. Okay, there we go. Nope. What is this thing connected to? Say something real quick.
You talking about me?
Okay, it is not connected to the computer. Hold on for a second. It's saying it's connected. Let me remove it. Okay, now I'm gonna reconnect it. All right, let's see what we got now. All right, we got some.
Jim Crow.
There we go.
What business did the United States have being in another continent?
Okay, there we go. Okay, we have sound, people. We have sound. So let's get this up here. All right, so y'all can hear it. All right, so let me.
Yes, it's not playing now.
No, it's not playing because I don't have it playing. All right, there we go. All right, so let's put now. Listen to what she says about who we were in the 1950s. All right, go.
Other countries how to operate when they treat their own people so poorly. That's since you ask, Black people in the United States on average were more successful than Asian Americans up until the 1950s and 60s when the United States started pushing the model minority myth. If you look at census data from the 1940s, Black people were earning significantly more than Asian people. But the United States was engaging in military actions in Asia under the guise of bringing democracy and fighting against communism when the rest of the world started to wonder, with the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, the Chinese Exclusion Act, and Jim Crow, what business did the United States have being in another continent telling other countries how to operate when they treat their own people so poorly? That's when the United States started to say, no, Asians are doing great. They work hard, they're quiet, they don't protest, and they are lifting themselves up by their bootstraps out of poverty. The problem is Black people who are protesting. And opportunities that were previously withheld from both Black and Asian people started being provided to Asian people and continued to be withheld from Black people. Then in 1964, when the Civil Rights Amendment finally passed and Black people were supposed to receive equitable access to those opportunities, in 1965, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration with the Hart-Celler Act and continued giving those opportunities to Asian people. Very importantly, the ability and resources to open, own, and operate businesses in Black neighborhoods, which effectively deprived Black people of the ability to invest in their own neighborhoods. Now, in case you're still thinking, no, it really is about emphasis on education, by the 1980s, an Asian American without a high school diploma was earning about the same as a white person without a high school diploma, and both were earning significantly more than a Black person without a high school diploma. So that has nothing to do with educational attainment and everything to do with the opportunities provided. But also that you inserted yourself in a conversation between two Asian Americans to weaponize Asian American identity against Black people is just gross.
Oh, did she just call it or what?
Since you ask, Black people in the United States on average were more successful than Asian Americans up until the 19th.
All right, so she did that. All right, she did that.
Yeah, she let him know.
All right, and she's been letting them know. All right, she's been letting them know, and this has been a sore spot for a lot of Caucasians, right? But not only is it a sore spot for Caucasians, it hurts the narrative that a lot of pandering Black people have as well. Because when you show that we had a higher marriage rate than Caucasians did before feminism, all right, they can't handle that, right? When you show that not only did we have a higher marriage rate, we had inventors, we had men doing everything. And when you look at what they're trying to do in society right now, what they're trying to do is make you forget about all the achievements of Afro men and make it look like that women did a bunch of things in a vacuum, and most of the stuff they're talking about that they did are turning out to be lies.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me just say this for the record. All right, that a lot of these achievements, take like the movie that they made, like Figures, the such and such Figures. They want to make it seem like that it was a Black woman that figured out how to hit the moon. And it wasn't. It was an Air Force engineer. I want y'all to understand this. It was an Air Force engineer who, what was his thing? He was an Air Force engineer, and he was trying to hit the moon and have radio waves ricochet back to the earth. He is the one that figured out the mathematics on how to hit the moon. In other words, if you have enough rocket fuel to get to the moon, if you don't know where it's going to be when you get there, you're going to miss it by a lot. All right. And so that was the issue with this brother. He figured out how to get to the moon. But do they talk about him? I did a couple of videos about him. All right. I did a couple of videos about him. He was an Air Force colonel, a Black guy with an afro. So he wasn't a dude that looked almost Caucasian. He was definitely well, he didn't have an afro, but a short fro, military style. Right. All right. He was definitely, that's who he was. All right. But they try to, the other thing that they're trying to do is eliminate brothers, eliminate men from our own history. All right. That's the other egregious thing they are trying to do is eliminate men from our own history. All
Yeah.
right. And y'all better wake up and understand what's going on. See, I kept wondering, why do they think my channel is such a threat? Right? I was like, man, what's the deal? Hold on for a second. I was like, what's the deal? And the deal is these dang, in order to do this stuff, in order to do what they want to do, they needed to elicit the help of a being that could destroy us in such a way that we wouldn't see coming. And why wouldn't we see it coming? You hear the argument, well, your mama black. All right. So nobody would see it coming, right? And people allowed it to go on and on and on. All right. If we speak of it, right? If we speak of it, the people that speaks about what's really going on in the community, do you know who shuts us down? Not the white people. They get other black people to do it on behalf of black women. Remember I told you about family secrets? That's what's destroying children. Family secrets because they have no one to go to. They have no one to go to because when we talk about the SA of children, it's the moms that are doing it or the aunts that are doing it, especially the males. Like the person said about that female, well, how dare you at 25 put me in a school where I'm supposed to do a job with a 19-year-old that plays football? And you expect me not to be attracted to him? Yes, we expect you at 25 with the job to not be attracted to somebody that's 19 and still in high school.
Or if you are attracted to him, you expect him not to act on it.
No. If you had any sense, if you really wanted a good man, but they don't want good men, they want to be run through. That's proof of that, right? Because if you wanted a good man, you would reserve yourself for a good man, right? That would kind of be what you should do. But they don't want good men. They say they want good men because it's the right thing to say, and they're saying it in public. But I remember, I told you, I don't trust the word of a BW. I don't trust the word of a BW. Oh, these are all the people that's been stealing my stuff. And you know who else was telling me this? Mechadon.
Oh, Shay was stealing your stuff?
No, she was telling me when she was looking around, she was telling me there's a lot of people stealing my stuff. Mechadon was telling me. I need to reach out to her. I was going to send her a message.
I run into Mega Dawn on some other channels. I saw Mega Dawn on what's the guy's name? EA Ski's channel.
Oh, okay. All right. And so basically, oh, hey, what's up, Zimalu? Shalom, bro. I forgot that. I know I forgot
Shalom,
something.
brother.
And so this is the thing, right? And so these women are intentionally creating son husbands, and it's a power grab, and it's a power grab. Like, if we can't destroy men who are already men, so we'll destroy our sons so they'll never become men. So that as they get older, they'll be fodder for other women. They see their daughters as competition. All right. So the single mom, the daughter's 25, the mom's 30, hitting 40. They want the same dude now.
Years ago,
And this
I was talking to
go ahead.
I was talking to there's an echo, man. Years ago, I was talking to a woman, and she had a son. What she wound up doing was telling me that her son was dating this woman with a single mother, and she was saying, well, she wanted him to work it out with her. And I'm like, why would you want do your son have any children? She said no. I said, why would you want him to be with a single mother? Because I think that's a better choice for him. Man, I stopped talking to her.
Right. Because they're destroying. This is how they are destroying the community.
Yeah.
This is how when you make your sons afraid to do labor work, and the labor work that makes a lot of money, but you're building. Right. And so when stuff hits the fan, not only will the women be unprotected, because the men, part of protection is this. It isn't going and fighting somebody.
Right.
Protection isn't going to go fight anybody. If you have to fight somebody, your protection has failed. Okay? So what did they used to do to protect the people? They built a fort. What the army did was they went and built a fort, and then they defended the fort. They didn't make a circle around people. They built up a barrier to make it difficult for people to attack them, and then they built up defenses around the fort.
Right.
That's called protection. Protection starts with prevention.
Now, Biden is creating this animus with all these other countries and he's getting involved in shit, and he's not going to have the normal black people that he has to send out in the military, because he's got all these feminine women, and the real men are not going to go and get in his army.
Right. The men, matter of fact, hardly anyone will fight for this president. Right. I can see this on TikTok. I can see this all over the place. He won't be able to get men to fight. What would the men be fighting for? When you have another flag raised as high as the U.S. flag on other people's embassies out of blatant disrespect for them because they tired of your BS.
Right.
And you have it raised equal to American flags in America. All right, people don't want to fight for you, and people aren't going to fight for you. I wouldn't fight for you. I'm not protecting
now they want us to go fight for a rainbow flag.
Yep, man, and so no, not going to happen, and it's not going to happen because that is no. I'm just not fighting for that. right? And so I'm not fighting for it. I'm not going to risk my life for it. I don't want nothing to do with it or
I say get them.
anybody that
Look.
disrespects.
I say get them transgenders to go ahead and fight.
Watch it. Watch the language.
Oh,
Say
okay.
TG.
TG. Sorry
Uh
about
huh.
that.
Yeah, we got to use initials now because they
Yeah,
shut people down. But yeah, we're saying get those people whose flag you raised up, put them in the military, and let them go and die on a battlefield. Period. Because
a lot.
that they don't represent us, and then since they represent themselves, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight for them. They don't represent me. They represent wanting to take all the stuff that my ancestors and other people fought for on our behalf for us not to have now.
Yeah.
Okay, and so basically,
Let all of them strong independent women's go fight.
and that's who they all the people who's reaping all the benefits. Let them go fight everybody else. Let them go fight, right?
Yeah.
Let them go to war in Africa. Send them to the Ukraine.
Yeah. I think they sent like 3,000 troops over there to Africa just not too long ago on one of the aircraft carriers.
Well, here's the thing. No, but then again, we are becoming sick as a nation where we don't stand for anything.
Yeah.
All right, and you can send some of us over to do any amount of evil. Understand this. We got somebody that clearly gave us better everything, and you got somebody that really did something not only wicked in the law but illegal, and you got people that were able to cover up with the illegal stuff. I mean, patented illegal stuff that one guy did, and go after another guy for free speech and make free speech illegal in the United States, right? While you let somebody sit on a computer, sit on everything, and you had the Department of Justice and the FBI sit on it. There's two tiers. There isn't even justice in the United States. There isn't. So why would I want to go fight for that?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I just say leave it alone. This the country. Nobody's going to fight for the country anymore, and you can see it in the attitudes of the people.
Yeah. You're right.
You can see it I can see it. People aren't going to fight for this administration. They're not going to fight for um, the people, and this administration basically won't have an army.
Yeah.
I think it's worse. I think it's worse than them not having an army. They have pissed people off. The real fighters. All right, they got the people who want something for nothing, right? But the workers and the fighters, they pissed them off to a level that they will leave this country completely alone. Because none of their ideas are represented by this country. Zero of their ideas are represented by this country. Zero of their ideas are represented by YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all the apps.
Yeah. Well, that's
So,
why a lot of people leaving the country.
and push come to shove, if if stuff break out, right, people are going to see Facebook, YouTube, TikTok as the enemies because they're the ones that took away everyone's rights.
Yeah.
and they're going to see the government as the enemy because they took away people's right and didn't do anything about it. I don't see any good coming from all of this.
Well, the big problem is, for example, we could win this war if we said, okay, you know what? For 1 month, we shutting down all of Facebook. We'll use YouTube, even though YouTube is a problem. We'll use YouTube, and we shut down Facebook. After so long, Facebook could be out of business, and then we could shut down another company.
Just simply by not using it. But here's the thing. But this is how they got it. The people, remember, I said the people think that content creating is a business. And since they got a lot of money off of it because dudes are so thirsty and dudes are using the thirst trap to get and the propaganda, oh, women bad, women good, men bad, to get the women. All right. And so you got a bunch of just lying people who will lie to get money. But when stuff goes held in the handbasket and the money isn't worth anything and they don't know how to build anything, who's going to help them then?
You're right.
Nobody.
I mean, there's really actually, they have built this up to a point where there's no solution.
Right. The only solution is for people to either go have a civil war. I see that if you look at the Caucasian persuasion, right, and they will have a lot of help because these people done pissed off a lot of people, and then you got some of us just we're like we out because there's nothing to fight for.
Yeah.
Right. So we out of here. All right. There's nothing to fight for. Right? What you going to fight against? You don't know what good is going to come of anything anyway, because you couldn't trust either side. Right?
Right.
But people are starting to see the wickedness, and it is something that is not good. It's not good. But anyway, so I realize it's kind of late right now. So I will holler at y'all later, but I wanted my brother Tone 202 to come up here and speak because I was listening. I was like, man, that's a good point, right? And he makes beats and stuff too, but
he makes beats.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. Yeah, he makes beats and stuff. But when he was talking about, when he was talking about he was talking about this, and I was thinking, I've been thinking about this for a while. I was like, we need to start teaching young men to use their hands and do stuff with their hands, because a lot of them don't know anything, and a lot of them, their moms turned them away from doing that. And so when he was talking about that, he's like, man, you need to build with your head. I was like, yep, damn straight, you do.
Yeah.
You know,
did he know that I make beats?
No. But I'm gonna tell him about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him about it. So yeah, I'm going to tell him about it. And so, but that's where we at. So with that said, people, I'm about to bust a move and shut this down. Thank you all for stopping by. Oh, my PayPal, me and Cash. I forgot to say this, but it's PayPal. If you want to help, do help me out with what I do. So we heading to Brazil next. My PayPal and Cash App is in the description box. But remember, before you give anything to anybody, before you donate to anybody, you take care of yourself and family too. And I will say this: make sure it's a decent cause that you believe in. That And what I mean by you believing, if you was doing it, it would be something that if you could do it, you would do it too.
Right, right,
And that's what I mean. Like if you could do what I do, you would do it. So that's a good cause for you, right?
right,
If you sit up there, man, I couldn't be up there BSing women like all day to make some money, then I wouldn't give money to that.
right,
All right. If you like, man, this sounds scammy. I couldn't scam people like that. I wouldn't give money to that.
right,
All right. So only give money to things that you believe in to the point that if you had the know-how and opportunity to do it, you would do it too. Like if I knew how to do that, I would do that too. Right? So first have your house in order, have your stuff in order, and then from out of your abundance. So with that said, I'm out. Thank you all for stopping by. Peace, love, and
all
soul.
right.
I'll holler at y'all
I'll at you.
later.